Why they really don't like Mamdani. This is the unspoken why. Welcome back to another video. Huge shout out to everyone who's subscribed. I really appreciate you. And if you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the unspoken why. All right, now let's get into it. Let's get into Mamdani. Zohran Mamdani is the new mayor-elect of New York City. Congratulations to New Yorkers. You finally have someone in office that really is going to represent the city of New York, okay, in all its diversity, in all its greatness, in all its allure. And he is 34 years old. 34 years old. Now, guys, I actually did some research, and New York has never had a mayor under the age of 30. But the youngest person ever elected mayor of New York was Hugh Grant. And he was mayor at age 31 in 1889. So the last time that New York City had a mayor that was in their 30s, it was 136 years ago. Just let that sink in. Like, that alone is insane. That just goes to show you how the old men have rigged the system, and they don't want young people in power in America. But it's not just young people. It's young people that are really for the people, that are democratic socialists like Zohran, like Bernie Sanders, because that's his mentor, right? And they love to call these people the big C word, right? They're a commie, they're a commie. But really, they just want to make sure that everybody lives a good life, right? And that's not allowed in America, apparently. But I'm going to tell you guys why Mamdani is really viewed as a threat. Okay. So we pull up his wiki, right? Okay. Born Zohran Kwame Mamdani. Born in Kampala, Uganda. Yes, folks, this is not your average Indian man. This is a very diverse Indian man. His experience through life has not been your typical experience for someone of his ethnicity. Okay, so let's get into it. Zohran Kwame Mamdani was born on October 18th in Kampala, Uganda, the only child of post-colonialism academic Mahmoud Mamdani and filmmaker Mira Nair. So he's the only child. So he got all the love, okay? He was given his middle name Kwame by his father in honor of Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. Yes, guys. This is why they're mad. Don't ever let it fool you. It's not him being a Muslim. It's not him being brown, Indian man. No, 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 no. This is why they're mad. Both his parents are of Indian descent. His father is Muslim, but was born in Mumbai and grew up in primarily Uganda. And his mother is Punjabi Hindu, and she was born in and raised in India. Okay, his paternal grandparents were born in present day Tanzania, and his father's family was part of the Indian diaspora in Southeast Africa. His maternal grandfather was a former Indian Administrative Service IAS officer, and his maternal grandmother was a social worker and founder of Salam Balak Trust in India. All right, so guys, this is really why they're mad, because this Indian man is rooted in African soil. Okay, so he's a different kind of Indian man. His energy is different, his mindset is different. Okay, Mamdani lived in Kampala until he was 5. So he lived in Uganda until he was 5, when his family moved to Cape Town in South Africa's Western Cape province after his father was appointed head of African studies at the University of Cape Town. All right, so listen, this man, his father, Mahmoud, was appointed head of African studies at the University of Cape Town. What do you think that says about the kind of man that he is and the mindset that he has and how he raised Zohran? Exactly. So he attended St. George's Grammar School in Mowbray from 1996 to 1998 during the early post apartheid years. He later said that the experience of living in Cape Town taught me what inequality looks like up close and that justice has to be more than an idea, it has to be material. Guys, this is the new mayor of New York City. Mayor elect. He gets sworn in January 1st. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So the family moved to the United States and settled in New York City when Mamdani was 7, and he was raised in Morningside Heights. He has described his upbringing as, quote, privileged, saying, I never had to want for something, and yet I knew that was not in any way the reality for most New Yorkers. As a child, he was often present on his mother's film sets, where he was loved by members of the film crews who variously referred to him as Z, Zoru, Fadus, and Nonstop Mamdani. All right. So Mamdani attended the Bank Street School for Children on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, where he successfully ran as the independent candidate in a middle school mock election, adopting a platform of equal rights, anti war policy that proposed spending money on education rather than the military. In 2003, he returned to Kampala, Uganda, for a year and attended school during his father's sabbatical there. His paternal grandparents and aunts still lived there and helped take care of him while his father was working on the book Good Muslim, Bad Muslim. So, guys, there's a lot in here, but do you understand why they are shaking in their boots right now? Like, this is not your regular Indian man. He's not your regular everyday Indian man, meaning that he is extremely diverse. His life has been extremely diverse, and his parents seem to be extremely conscious. That's a problem for the dominant society. That's a problem for these 80-year-old Caucasian men who want to hoard all the power in America until they're 90 years old. All right, so speaking of his parents, let's talk about his mother. And now I'm going to go to a People magazine article. So here's his mother, Mira, and she is actually an Academy Award nominated filmmaker. Okay, so Mira, a Harvard graduate, is a prominent filmmaker whose work focuses on South Asian and Indian stories, but that's not entirely true. It also focuses on African stories, but you see how the mainstream news is already really not trying to focus on it too much, but they have to include it, and I'm going to show you below. So she got an Academy Award for Salam Bombay in 1988, where she got nomination for Best Foreign Language Film. She also received critical acclaim for the 1991 movie Mississippi Masala Monsoon Wedding in 2001 and The Namesake in 2006. Okay, it says, as a child, Zohran grew up around his mother's movies. Mira told the New York Times she remembered seeing Mississippi Masala starring Denzel Washington holding 3-month-old Zohran on a red carpet for the project. This is the new mayor of New York City. New mayor-elect. Zohran even spent time on Mira's movie sets, notably creating and producing the soundtrack for her 2016 film, Queen of Kauai. Remember, Queen of Kauai was that movie with Lupita Nyong'o about a 10-year-old girl, true story, living in the slum of Kauai in Kampala, Uganda, and one day she met Robert Katende, a missionary who teaches children how to play chess, and she became fascinated with the game and soon becomes top player under his guidance, and her success in local competitions and tournaments opened the doors to a bright future. Like, this girl came out of poverty through that. So this movie was directed by his mother, and it's an African movie. It's about an African girl from Uganda. So going to show that People magazine started off saying, oh yeah, her work focuses on South Asian and Indian stories. I mean, maybe, but she doesn't, not truly, you know what I'm saying? They just don't want you to think that they're rooted in anything African, but that's not true. They are. Because if she wasn't, she wouldn't have directed a movie like this. And what's even funnier is here, Zohran was rapping on one of the songs featured in it under his rap persona, Young Cardamom. Yo, this is the new mayor-elect of New York City. He, yo, I'm sorry, this is just so funny because he is so unique. This man is so versatile. He's so diverse. He's so unique. I don't think that the powers that be will really know how to deal with this man. Like, I think he's coming from behind, from the front, from the left, from the right, up and down. Like, they're not even going to know how to deal with this man. Like, he's so different. Okay. His mother made this film, and he actually created and produced the soundtrack for this film, Queen of Coate, and rapped. Yes, guys, rapped on one of the songs under his rap persona, Young Cardamom. All right, guys. So, yeah, so then moving back on to his dad, he started working as a professor of international affairs. That's his father and mother, by the way. So he started working as a professor of international affairs at Columbia University in anthropology and government. Okay, he received his PhD from Harvard in 1974 and worked as a professor at multiple universities, including the University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, Macquarie University in Uganda, and the University of Cape Town per his Columbia University bio. In 1999, he joined the faculty at Columbia and has worked there ever since. So this man has worked at several universities in Africa. This is Zohran Mamdani's father. This is the kind of man that he came from and the kind of man that his father is. Mahmoud's work, his father, this is Zohran's father. His work focuses on settler colonialism and human rights, as well as Marxism and the history of war and genocide in Africa, not in India, in Africa. That's his work. That's what he's been doing for years. He's a prominent scholar in post-colonialism and has written several books. Mahmoud has faced backlash for his pro-Palestine stance and has been accused of anti-Semitism, which he has adamantly rejected. According to the New York Times, Zohran parallels his father's views on Palestinian rights. So, guys, this is the new mayor-elect of New York City. We need to give a clap. We need to give a clap. Because, listen, y'all, New York City is about to see change. And you know, I have friends in New York. I went to school in New York, and people are happy in New York. They are so happy. They feel like for the first time, it could possibly be a new day. Like things will actually change and work more cohesively. Because what's happened to New York City is the billionaires have taken it over, you know? The billionaires, Trump's friends, they've taken New York City over. And it used to be a city that was affordable, that was livable in the 70s, you know, and it might have not been super safe, but it was a lot of fun and it wasn't so expensive. And people really could live their best life the way that they're supposed to be living in a place where you could take the train everywhere and walk everywhere. But now a lot of people, they're just living to work and living in a little closet and paying $3,000 for that closet and not making enough money to survive or pay their taxes, you know, or eat, you know, milk is like $10. I mean, it's out of control. So desperate times call for desperate measures. And guess what? Zohran has arrived. And he's 34. He's not perfect. He's young. And he's going to make mistakes. Everybody does. But he is somebody who seems to be so unique and versatile. And he's a Libra, too. You know, I don't want to get into science, but you know, he's a Libra. So, you know, he knows how to talk that talk. They've got the gift of gab. So I feel like he's probably going to do a very good job. And we are going to see a very different New York. And again, I know a lot of black people, they were not really supporting him necessarily. They were supporting like Eric Adams, and then he dropped out, and they were supporting Cuomo. But Mamdani really represents New York City, all of New York City. And that is the kind of mayor that they need. And this is the biggest news of the election night. I mean, we had a lot of wins on election night. We meaning like people that are actually working for the American people that won. We had a lot of wins, you know, because a lot of these politicians, they're not working for the people. But on November 4th, there were a lot of wins for us, the people, and people were elected that actually care about us. They're going to be positive opposition for what we're facing right now in America. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. Mamdani is a dual citizen of Uganda and the United States. He was naturalized in the latter country in 2018, and he is a Shia Muslim and identifies with the 12er branch. Okay, and his wife, Rama, she is an animator and illustrator, and they actually met on the dating app Hinge. Isn't that cute? And they became engaged in October 2024. Okay, and they held a private ceremony 2 months later in Dubai, and they were married in February 2025 in a civil ceremony at New York City Hall. They also had a ceremony in Uganda in July 2025. Again, going to show you how he is rooted in Africa, right? It's not just his family living there to make money. He didn't have to have a ceremony in Uganda, a wedding ceremony in Uganda. He's in America. He's been in America since he was like 7. So he didn't have to do that. But he did that because he loves Uganda. That's a part of him. And he also speaks one of the local languages there, Luanda. Okay, so this is a part of his identity. So now the couple reside in Astoria, Queens. And besides English, like I said, he can speak 3 other languages: Hindi, Luganda, which is that one of the languages in Uganda, and Spanish. Okay, this man is extremely diverse, extremely diverse. I mean, the best option that New York City could have had at this point. And let's click into his wife real quick. So his wife Rama, she is an American animator, illustrator, and ceramist. So she like makes pottery. And throughout her career, her illustrations have been featured in the New Yorker and the Washington Post, as well as BBC, Apple, and Tate Modern. Um, and she was born in Houston, Texas, to Syrian Muslim parents from Damascus. Again, this is how diverse this situation is. Not just him, but his wife. Like, she was born in Houston. Houston. Okay. And her parents are Syrian. Okay. And her father is a software developer. Her mother's a doctor. The family moved to Dubai when she was 9 years old. And then she spent the remainder of her childhood living among the Arab states of the Persian Gulf. So she was over there in the Arab world for a while. And then she came back. But her story, his story, extremely interesting. These people are the kind of artistic people that New York City needs as mayor. These kind of people are very eclectic, eccentric, diverse, and they're artistic. He's rapping, she's doing illustrating and animating and making pottery. These are artistic, creative people, and that's what New York is full of. New York is full of the arts. It's full of creators and creatives. And finally, they have a mayor elect that actually represents that. That's how deep this is. And I didn't even know this video was going to get this deep. But the more I keep researching about these people, I'm like, wow, like this is really a win across multiple levels. You know, it's not just about him being brown, you know, and young. It's so many different wins here. You know, him being rooted in Africa. I cannot wait to see how this all turns out. He is sworn in January 1st next year, and he gets 4 years. Okay, his term is 4 years, and before he gets the next election. All right, and if he gets reelected, he'll get another 4 years. So that's how it works. And let me know in the comments, what do you think about Zohran? Did you know any of this about Mr. Mamdani? Mr. Mamdani, did you know any of this about this man? Did you know how rooted in Africa he was? Like how deep his roots go and how diverse this man is. Did you know any of this? How do you feel about New York City? Do you feel more excited about it? Are you going to go visit now? Well, now meaning next year because he takes over next year. And how do you think he's going to deal with Trump? Donnie, how do you think he's going to deal with Donnie? What do you think's going to happen, guys? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like the video if you haven't. Subscribe and share it. And remember to ask why.